thing is, we can relate to an Anthony Edwards.
Exactly.
Maybe on and off the court. But, but you know.
Except I pull out.
Yeah, he doesn't know how to do that. But.
What's good? Say what's real, crew. Welcome back. I'm Nick.
I'm Boston, LA.
He meant first round exit, LA.
Hell no. This is going to be the easiest
Sixers
first
is
round.
coming, my nigga.
The easiest first round win ever.
No way.
Easiest.
I bet it's going to be some work. I guarantee you it's going to be some work.
Paul George back. I've been telling y'all the last month and a half. Once they got Jason Tatum back, it's over. The East is already done. Boston Celtics going to NBA Finals. And OKC, you better watch out.
Man, fuck that. I got to start with this shit because this shit got me hot. Oh, my God. The Clippers, bro. I had y'all being an 8th seed to stress out the Thunder. And not only did they fold, I seen Kawhi Leonard get strapped up by old-ass Draymond Green.
Told you so.
Like that, for Draymond to strap him up was mind-boggling to me. Like mind-boggling. I literally was watching it and I'm just like,
why are you so mind-boggled?
Bro, it's Kawhi.
And
I've been talking about him all season.
And Draymond Green is a hell of a defender.
He is. But
as Mr. Fun Guy told you in his press conference, he said, Draymond Green, hell of a defender.
Yes. But, dog, it's cool. If that happened to LeBron, you know that should be everywhere, bro. If that happened to KD, you know that should be everywhere, bro. Like, it's Kawhi Leonard, bro. A previous MVP, NBA champion. You can play tough defense, but to be strapped up like that is unacceptable.
I try to tell you, I don't buy that hype. I've been telling you about the Clippers. I've been telling you about them. I'm not buying this hype. They're not even going to make the playoffs. The Trailblazers about to beat them. I ain't even worried about it. They're not going to make the playoffs.
No, they're out. That was it.
It was a 9-10 game.
Yes, they were cooked. That's what makes it even worse.
That's funny.
And with them not making the playoffs,
Dang, that was a 9-10 game.
That got them.
Wow,
yeah,
okay, so yesterday the 7-8 was Boston and Orlando. I mean, Boston,
yeah,
Philly and Orlando, and then this was the 9-10 game. Okay, they've been doing that 9-10.
Yeah, silly shit, bro. And then tomorrow is the games where either win or go home.
Okay, so Golden State and Trailblazers.
Yeah.
I mean, no.
I know what you're saying.
Trailblazers are in. Golden State versus the Suns.
In which I don't even know.
All right.
Do you like the play-in still?
No. I texted you that and told you this stuff is trash. It don't matter.
Yeah.
Because these teams are going to be eliminated. None of them are going to make any noise, do anything. I already tried to tell you, the Clippers would have made the playoffs. They're going to get cooked too. I tried to tell you that already. This stuff I already tried to tell you. I told you they weren't it. And you kept on trying to tell me they're going to take. I told you they weren't it. They weren't it all season. I tried to tell you. It doesn't matter. When you start the season off, as bad as start the season off, I don't care what you do. You're trash. They were trash all season long. Did they make a little run? Sure. They made a run to make it to, if there wasn't no play-in, they would have missed the playoffs. So this is what I try to tell you. This team literally was never good the whole season long. Try to make these trades and everything. People are like, oh, they gotten better. No, they didn't. They need to go ahead during the offseason and do what they did with James Harden and go ahead and do it with Kawhi. Trade Kawhi for as many assets as you can get. Because that team, no matter what you do in the offseason,
it ain't enough.
It ain't going to be enough because no one wants to be a Clipper. Tell me the last time, I'm being dead serious. I'm not disrespecting Chris Paul, I'm not. But I think he was even traded. Tell me the last time, other than Kawhi Leonard, where a big superstar wanted to actually go there, not be traded, right? Paul George was traded there, right? Russell Westbrook was after his prime when he went there. There's like not a lot of players who wants to go play for the Clippers.
They want to play for the Lakers.
Because they are still the little brother to the Los Angeles Lakers. So, and even the Lakers now, I mean, to be honest with you, they didn't get Luka. Luka didn't go there. He was traded there. So even now, the Lakers are not really a squad that people really want to gravitate to, like superstars.
Think because of Luka being there, they might want to be there. But I think with the play-in, I think that shit was made for LeBron and Curry, just in case some injuries or some weird shit happens that enables them to sneak into the playoffs. I think that was the only reason, because outside of, once they're gone, no one's gonna care. Like you said, it's a waste of time. They were literally created just for Bron and Curry, some last hope, so we can get a superstar sneaking him in. That was the only reason.
I think it was more made because of like March Madness and stuff like that.
You think
a tournament format,
drama?
People care about that. People care about that because I see what you're saying, but at the end of the day, they're going to be gone at some point. They're not going to cancel this play-in. They're still going to keep having it every year, and you're going to have
people
to do
loving
it.
the play-in. I mean, it's dramatic as hell.
People are going to like the play-in because it's something to watch. It's content. It's more games. People have more NBA to watch. You add basically game 83 and 84 for a couple teams in the season.
Don't we have enough games?
It's just like the mid-season tournament. You know what I mean? Like, that's a waste of time. It's not a real trophy. No one gives a damn. Like, the Knicks won it, and no one thinks the Knicks are actually going to win the finals.
Won?
Yeah, the Knicks won. You don't even remember. That's how bad it was. Like, it's just, no one cares about it. You know what I mean? It's just really it's don't. Here. Whoever's winning these 7-8 games are going to get crapped on and killed. Even though you're trying to say the 76ers are going to do something, they're not. They're going to get killed. All the 7-8 teams, like, the Trailblazers might make it competitive just because the Spurs,
they're young.
They're young, so it could be competitive because they got some dogs on the Trailblazers. One of your favorite players, you love to talk about, and Drew Holiday is on the squad. You love Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday's a dog.
Yeah,
it's not like he's gonna sit there and lay down and just let Stephen Castle and De'Aaron Fox just run all over him and stuff. No, he's not gonna do that. He's a dog, and he's gonna bring out his best foot forward. Same thing with Jeremy Grant. Jeremy Grant's a veteran in this league. Mm-hmm. He's coming to come and play. So it's gonna be a competitive series. But at the end of the day, with the alien,
they're gonna get swatted. Unless I don't even want. That's tired of conversation. What's your favorite matchup coming up?
This is tough. I'm gonna go Nuggets and Timberwolves.
That's gonna be. I think the Timberwolves have had their number, but it's almost the conflicting thing is I kind of like them both. Like I like Ant, so I want him to win, but I also like the Nuggets as far as compared. I don't like the Nuggets, but I like them to face Thunder or something like that. So it's kind of hard. It's hard for me to pick a winner because I'm like, damn,
It's the most competitive one though.
Yeah,
you look at the rest of these. These are pretty much all going to be done quickly. I mean, the East could be a little iffy just because I feel like I don't trust the Knicks. So we'll see. But I mean, I think they got a pretty good matchup against the Raptors. I think that's pretty.
That's GG.
I feel like that's pretty nice. And you got lucky. You got lucky with the Cavaliers. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Yes, sir.
You got lucky with the Cavaliers because, to me, I don't think the Atlanta Hawks are going to be able to do anything in that first round. And I don't even think the Cavaliers are that great. I think they're amazing.
It's a nice warm-up. It's a nice warm-up for when we get ready to, pop out the finals. Yeah, before we go out there to visit.
Oh, y'all might get gentlemen swept in the second round. You heard what I said.
Who?
Pistons. Yeah.
Okay. We got to see if they're going to make it out the first round.
Don't play.
Okay.
You got to stop disrespect.
All right. Okay.
Huh?
All right.
You do know the Pistons are playing either
the Hornets or the Magic. Yeah, I know. The Magic play them tough. And who knows what Rookie of the Year and LaMelo Ball and them might shoot light their ass up with.
Okay. Let's be serious now.
I'm serious, bro. We don't know.
Come on. Stop playing. Don't. We both know that the Pistons are either going to sweep these teams or they're going to win in 5 games. Do not sit here and act like it's going to be. And look, listen, I love the Magic to death. The Magic are terrible. They're terrible. So the Magic really shouldn't even be. They should have really.
Bro, it's so embarrassing,
they're
bro.
bad. To me, I mean, listen. Other than Desmond Bane, every other player has underachieved this season. I think Desmond Bane gave you. Now, do I think Desmond Bane's played worth 5 first-round picks? No. To me, 5 first-round picks should be like 30 points a game. But that's just me. That's just me. But
30 points a game minimum.
But I will say he has brought to the team what the team needed, and that was 3-point shooting. He's still shooting his percentage, and he still puts out games like he did last night where he got over 30.
Grit. If you realize, they just seem so fucking soft. Like if you just watch them, like, they don't seem like they got any, like, dog in them. Like, Bane, like, you ain't getting it from Franz. You're not getting it from Paolo. He be disappearing too much.
Well, Jalen Suggs and Jonathan Isaac are supposed to be dogs.
Yeah, no.
They really are. Them two are supposed
I love
to be dogs.
Suggs, but
they're supposed to be great defenders who get in your face and, cause havoc. But, like, I can't even about to say this because it's like, this guy gets on my nerves, like, hearing him talk. But they need a guy like Patrick Beverly, like a player like that on the squad. Like, you need someone that's going to defend, be that bulldog, and get in your face.
And we talked about it, and one of them got to go. Pick and choose, Franz or Apollo. One of them got to go. You can't. We've seen it.
You're not gonna go with the number 1 pick in an NFL
NBA
draft.
Franz
can go, but the problem with Franz going is, what is he worth?
Somebody can see a diamond in him. I don't know who.
I'm just saying, what is he? I'm not saying he's not a good player. I'm just saying, what is he worth? Because, like, Desmond Bane's worth 5 first-round picks. What's Franz Wagner worth? 3?
2.
If someone give me 2 first, I'm not taking that. Minimum 3.
NBA picks don't weigh the same as NFL picks.
They don't. So, and I guess it depends on the team, but his contract is kind of, it's kind of hefty, I guess.
If I'm Memphis, swap. Yep, that's what I do.
Oh, they're not gonna do that because they gave him Bane. Nah, they're not gonna do that.
Oh, okay, yeah. True.
Because then you'd be giving back those first-round picks.
Yeah,
nah.
Hell nah. You don't have to give shit. You just trade.
Trade who?
Ja. For Franz, straight
Absolutely not. No.
Straight up.
Absolutely not. Ja Morant on the Magic? No.
Bruh, that'd be better than what they got now?
That's not helping the team whatsoever.
All right.
You can't even trust Ja Morant to play.
No, you can't. We ain't
you can't trust these. I mean, you can't trust some of these Magic players to play either. They've been injured all year.
My point exactly.
The medical staff, but you can't trust Ja Morant to play either. So
we'll leave the Magic alone. They ain't doing shit.
Yeah, you think these NBA playoffs, but to me, it's pretty obvious for me. It's gonna be the Thunder and it's gonna be these Celtics in the finals. And it's gonna be a great finals. I think the Pacers lit the Thunder off the hook last year, so I know Boston ain't going to. Joe Mazzulla don't play that shit.
What about the Pistons? You think they can upset somebody?
Upset who?
I don't know. Either the Thunder or the Celtics.
I'll put it this way. If Jason Tatum would have waited and came back during the playoffs, then I would have picked the Detroit Pistons. But because he came back during the season, he's got his legs up on him. They've been winning a lot of games with him in there. He's getting better every game. They in trouble. By the time East Conference Finals comes,
oh yeah,
I'm gonna tell you this right now. The experience of Boston is gonna get them past the Pistons. Because I don't know if the team is better. I don't want to disrespect the Pistons and say that I think that the Boston Celtics might be the better team.
No, Boston Celtics, don't do that. Don't do that. Boston Celtics are definitely the better team. Got the two Devils themselves are better than everybody on their team.
Yeah, but the thing with Boston is I try to go off of this season. I try to go off just the season.
Who's been better, Jaylen Brown or Tatum? Or Cade?
I think Cade's been better.
I like Jaylen Brown.
I think Cade's been better.
Okay, wash. Tatum. Who's going to match him?
Pistons, they play good defense. A lot of help side defense. Obviously.
Pritchard. Celtics.
You're going by like a man perspective, but the zone defense and Jalen Duran, great rim protector. I mean, I'm seeing things.
There
from
is
the
some
Pistons.
weaknesses from the center position from the Celtics' point of view. I do see that.
I'm just saying from this season alone, it'd be like asking me the same question about, let's see here, like the Spurs and the Nuggets. Like if you ask me the Spurs and the Nuggets, I'm going to tell you, sure, I'd probably take the Nuggets in a series, but this season alone, the Spurs are just playing better basketball. That's the case.
That's true.
I'm just saying from a perspective of what I watched. I don't want to disrespect the team because, well, in the past or whatever. But in the
That's true.
playoffs, I like
If
to
we
use
go off of-
experience. Experience-wise, the Boston Celtics should win this series. But would it be surprising if Detroit found a way? No, because they've been
The better team.
the better
all year.
team all year. That consistently. That's why I told you about the Clippers. Why I didn't think they were going to make it. Because that shit in the beginning of the
Hey.
year was.
That's valid. I don't have anything to say about it because that's that.
And the worst part is, I feel like the Thunder is going to be a cakewalk because they're going to be sitting there. Whoever they play in this first round, they're going to sweep them.
Okay.
They'll sweep the Warriors. They'll sweep the Suns.
Then the second round they'll pop.
It's going to be either the Lakers or the Rockets. And
pop them too.
I'm trying to think. So I can't believe I'm about to say this. The Lakers are in the better matchup here. Because if they would have played the Timberwolves, I think they would have gotten swept. We've seen how the Timberwolves have done Lakers in the past.
Yeah,
It would have been.
I didn't even want to see that one.
It would have been worse this time around. They got the better matchup playing the Rockets. Reason being, the Rockets just aren't what we thought they were going to be. I thought that this team was going to be able to battle the Thunder.
Can you believe that Fred VanVleet tore this whole shit down?
He did. I feel like they had him. They would definitely be making
It's just
a little bit more noise.
But no one. If I told you at the beginning of the season, hey, the Rockets, if they lose VanVleet, they not gonna be as good. Everybody be like, man, you tripping? They got KD, da 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 da. But just that one loss, for some reason, just threw their whole shit off. I'm like, damn.
Well, also because no one on that team. Here's the thing. I can't be able to say this. It's like, what am I thinking? But losing Dylan Brooks hurt a lot. It hurt a lot. Like, that team has lost
Right.
a lot of
Yeah, they did.
the team is just not the same, man. And like,
Every team that he leaves does that.
yeah, they're just not the same anymore. Like they just, I'm not serious. I'm not. It's not only like the tenacity and like his play style, but it's just like the team. Like, okay, he covered up some deficiencies they had on defense,
Yes.
and now a lot of them are being seen. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying that Thompson's not a great defender or a good defender.
Yeah,
He is a good
we're
defender.
not saying that.
But Sagoon is fucking awful. He's terrible. And I think a lot of that stuff might have been covered up because Dylan Brooks was such a great perimeter defender. And now, anytime anyone gets in the post, you see Sagoon run the
OB.
other way. Nowhere to be found. And here's the worst part. The Lakers do have a path to win this series. People don't think they do, but they do.
Oh,
if
yeah, for
they
sure.
can make this series go 7 games and they can find a way to have that series tied at like 2-2 or whatever, hopefully they get Luka back. Because if they get Luka back and AR-15,
it's over.
It's over with because, I'm sorry, guys, Kevin Durant's not that killer anymore. Like, when Kevin Durant was on the Warriors, he had that killer mentality, that killer instinct to put people away. Kevin Durant doesn't have... To me, I'm not saying he isn't a great player anymore. He is. He's still averaging 26 points per game, but he's not a killer. Like, he's not going to
not
put
the
his
Slim
foot...
Reaper.
Yeah, they're not going to come out here and blow these guys out 20 points, 25 points in the first few games and put their foot on the neck and just basically take their heart out. No. Especially if the Lakers, if they can get Ayton involved, Ayton can tear up Sagoon. There is a path.
The only thing that I say, and I've been watching Bron in the Mind the Game and all this, and I've been hearing small little things, and this is the one moment where I say, Bron, you say and you speak as if you still him and you can do it. I remember on the court he said, 41, but I can still do this shit. They just put me on the shelf, some shit like that. My nigga, this your moment. There's no Luka. There's no Reeves. Show us. Like, real shit. If you feel like you still him, because technically if he was 10 years younger, we wouldn't we would care about Luka, but truth be told, we wouldn't be stressing. We'd be like, man, they still got LeBron James. So, with that said, I see there's a path if LeBron is LeBron, but I can't have that expectation of him. I cannot have that expectation of him at this point in his career. But he's speaking as if he does, so we'll see. I believe there's a path, but I think that's the only path.
I mean, there's a path. I mean, I see what you're saying, but I mean, if to me, Ayton has to dominate. He has to average 20 and 10. Has to average 20 and 10. If he doesn't average 20 and 10, and he does that shit he did in the finals a couple years ago back with the Suns, where he didn't show up and Giannis was dominating him and shit, he started playing dumb as hell. If he does that shit, then yeah, they're going to get... It might be a long series, but the way I see it, he should go 20 and 10, and if you can get Luke Kennard to hit about 4 or 5 threes a game...
God damn, nigga.
Listen, this is what he brought him in. This is what he brought him in.
4 to 5 is...
Yes, it has to be 4 to 5. And this is the reason why it has to be 4 to 5. It wouldn't have to be 4 to 5 if I could believe in Jake... Revea, whatever the hell, and I could depend on Marcus Smart to give me some threes. If I could depend on Rui to produce,
man, you missing a name, Bronny. Like,
so you trying to be funny?
I'm not trying to be funny.
You're trying to be funny. You're trying to be funny because we both know Bronny is not going to probably play whatsoever. The name I'm missing though is Drew Timmy. That's the name I'm missing. Drew Timmy or Nick Smith Jr. You know what I mean?
They just signed.
They just signed him to a contract. You know what I'm saying? So. You know, or maybe the defense of Jared Vanderbilt comes into play. You know, maybe the path of this, which would be crazy because they don't play defense, would be can we limit the Rockets to under 100 points? That would be
that's a good path right there. I'm not even really interested. Like, I care, but I think like I don't even want us to do like a bracket or anything. I think we should swing around once the playoffs start. After the first round, that'd be more entertaining. Because right now, we just went through most of them. Pretty much all the lower seed teams are about to get smacked. So, like, what's the joy in that?
Yeah, I mean, you were saying you think 76 is going to do something, though.
I mean, I be talking shit, nigga. Like, you know I be talking shit. Yeah, but I do like Maxey. I do like Edgecombe. I like Paul George back. I think there's potential in it being a good series. Like, we can't act like it hasn't been a good series before. So, and who's to say that the Celtics are going to be 100%? It's not like they ain't been nicked up. I mean, I'm just saying.
Stop.
I mean, you got to have a prayer somewhere.
They were chanting, "We want Boston" last night, and they going to be crying about how bad these ass women's going to be. BTA, the first 2 games, easy. That's the thing about playoff games. There's a lot of BTA in the playoffs.
The crazy thing is, the first game will be intense until the last minute or two, and they get pulled away. Then the second game is when they get ugly. They get their back broken. The third game is where it's make or break. The Sixers have to win that game. If they lose that one, it's over. I'm just giving you the play. Celtics is going to be a tough game. First game, it might come down to a clutch moment. Second game might be belt to ass. And then third game, that's when it gets spooky. They got to show up.
I just feel like this is going to be, unless there'll be some surprises, but to me, out of the West, it's okay. I know there's probably some people who really believe that the Spurs can do this, which, listen, if Wemby come out here and just starts dominating, I mean, it's not something that can't be done now, because sometimes a dominant force can get the job done. And it was only regular season, but the Spurs got in that ass a lot against the Thunder. They won this season series.
That's true, but I don't know if they're gonna make it there. I'm very interested in seeing Spurs and Timberwolves. That's very interesting. Like on the surface level, oh yeah, the Spurs easy, but I don't know.
The Spurs will beat them.
It gets interesting though.
I like how much I love Ant. I do, but I'm sorry, man. Wemby's something different. Yeah, and that's just something that, Anthony Edwards, if he got past Wemby, we have to really start talking about where he ranks if he can get past him. Especially if Wemby plays every game. You know what I mean?
That's what I mean. If we spoke about it. Well, actually, I spoke about it because you didn't believe it at all. So last year, I was on the Ant Hill. I was like, hey, Ant, this is your moment. Again, this is his moment. If he want it, he got to snatch that mug. Like, at this point in his career, if he wants it, he got to go through OKC, San Antonio, Denver. These are tough matchups. Like, he got to go through them. And if he does that, it's a different conversation.
When his first priority is basketball and not making babies, he'll be able to get past those humps. But until then, he ain't getting past them humps.
Kind of funny.
Yeah, it is. I know. I want to see. I actually do want to see the Spurs get to the finals, though. I ain't gonna sit here and cap. That would be amazing to me if they made it. I don't like seeing back-to-back winners. I mean, same year winners. I don't want to see the Thunder again, and I don't really want to see Boston again. These are teams that have won it recently, so I don't really want to see that.
The Spurs and the Cavs would be very nostalgic.
Cavs are not going. Cavs are not going.
My bad. Spurs. I meant in my head I was saying Cavs. I was thinking about something else.
Yeah, you know.
But Spurs and the Pistons, because they've been there before. I remember, that had a, when I was a kid, I was actually a Pistons fan at that time.
You were a Pistons fan?
Yeah, when I was a kid.
Oh, you liked the Rip Hamilton, and Ben Wallace, and Chauncey Billups, and Tyshawn Prince?
That was my squad.
Okay.
So at that moment, I was a fan. And then, the king entered the ring. So, but I do have a question. It's a great segue into our NFL stuff.
Okay.
Why do you, I haven't heard many conversations on it. It's not really, people just probably don't care. But why do you think the NFL is way more popular than NBA? And I have a thought on it, but I just want to know what you think first.
I mean, less games for one. I mean, that's the big reason, because there's only 17 NFL games. So that's a really big one right there. So less is more. And that's a big reason why. Because less is more. Because, I mean, listen, the basketball hasn't really been at its peak since. I mean, I haven't really heard basketball at its peak since probably LeBron was on the Heat. Basketball really hasn't been. I mean, you can argue maybe
the
Warriors with KD was it was talked about, but I mean, the minute, and it sounds bad, but the minute the Raptors beat the Warriors, basketball took a big decline. And I don't want to disrespect, the Raptors championship or anything. I'm just saying, from then on out, it was people were kind of the ratings went down. It's okay, whatever. But with football, fantasy football is more popular than fantasy basketball. No one's talking about that. No one's talking about that shit.
That's very valid.
No one's talking about that shit, right? The sports betting, more people gamble and bet on football way more than basketball. You don't see people go to Vegas.
The draft is way more exciting.
The draft is way more exciting. No one cares about the NBA draft, let's be honest. We don't even
give a fuck.
Yeah, the first few picks and then it's over. With the NFL, there's trades left and right. You don't know who's going where and what's going where. It's just a more exciting game as well. I mean, listen, and also it's just more competitive, right? A wild card team can win a championship.
Yeah.
Right? And in the NBA,
a play-in team is not.
No, never. And what do you think?
I'm off the deep end like a motherfucker. You had great points and all that shit. I was just sitting around the crib and I was thinking, is it because NBA is dominated by black people? And I was thinking, if NBA had, I don't know, if LeBron was, let's say Tom Brady was in the NBA. And let's just say, I don't know, Peyton Manning was Kobe, or, just throw some other faces on this. How much more popular would it be? Because I think that plays into it too, but that's on deep end. But it's just something I was thinking. I was like, is it because it's because in NFL, the quarterback is pretty much like the face of the NFL, and the face is always, I mean, for the most part, the latter years it's been changing, but for the most part, it's been Brady's, the Peyton Mannings, that I don't know if it's treated the same if they don't look like that. I mean, I could be off the deep end, and this is like this nigga tripping, but it was just something I was thinking about. I was like, would it be more popular if it wasn't so dominant with...
I mean, you're not wrong, but at the same point, you think, okay, you take the 80s, the NBA, right? Magic Johnson, very, very popular. But then you did have Larry Bird. But then you take the 90s, though, it was dominated by Michael Jordan. And Jordan carried the 90s. There was no really other name.
Yeah.
It was Michael Jordan, and that was it. And he was very, very popular, right? And then you look at the 2000s, Shaq, Kobe, Allen Iverson, obviously LeBron comes into play. You still got Kobe. You got D Wade. Like, I actually could say now, one of the reasons why the NBA might not be as popular is the opposite. It's dominated by the white players.
Okay, so I'm getting somewhere, though.
Luka Doncic and Nikola Jokic are kind of considered the best. Well, Nikola Jokic is considered the best player in the NBA, and Luka Doncic is the top 5 player in the NBA. Foreigners in general, because Shea is obviously from Canada. Giannis is from Greek. Yeah, so
we're cooking somewhere, but you get what the conversation
it's
is
not
going.
American players, because obviously Curry changed the game, very, very popular. True. Like, obviously, I have Kevin Durant. Like, you have it, but in the NFL, like you said, it's all Americans. There's no one from a different country who is a great player or anything. It's all dominated by Americans. Your best player usually they consider it a quarterback. And usually, over the years, it has been a white quarterback. There's no doubt about it. You can, even before Tom Brady, you can, like you said, you can take your Peyton Mannings, your Drew Brees. You can go even back to the 90s and go back. You can go back to the 80s. You can go Joe Montana and Steve Young. You can go Roger Staubach, Terry Bradshaw.
And that's and no, if you white, whatever, not being racist, it was just something I was thinking about. Like, when you black, you think about shit like this.
No, it's just a conversation.
Yeah, it's just a conversation. I'm not trying to, it's not that deep. It's just something I was thinking of. I was like, damn.
I mean, listen, race and all comes into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not even only a football and basketball thing, right? Like, you can go at other sports. You look at baseball and see how Shohei Ohtani is widely considered the best player in baseball. He's not from here.
Yeah.
And baseball, obviously with baseball, I think it's pretty obvious why it's not as popular as it used to be. These motherfuckers ain't on steroids. So that's exactly what it is. And they're not hitting 75 home runs anymore. So, you know what I mean? People get excited for 40 home runs and 50 home runs instead of 70 home runs. So every sport can be different, but for football and basketball in particular, as you're saying, it really just comes down to, like you said,
representation.
Like, if they're not, if they don't feel like they can relate and be like a role model, right? Like, I don't look up. I would never. I'm not trying to be. I'm just saying, the way I grew up in my culture, I'm not gonna be looking up to Nikola Jokic or Luka Doncic.
He been nice. I don't give a fuck about them. I don't want to see. I didn't want to be a Luka fan from the jump.
Well, listen, I'm not saying, but the thing is, the way Luka plays, I have no problem with that. Obviously, I want to hit step back threes.
Fine.
Obviously, I want to have passes like that.
I don't relate.
But no, you don't relate to them. They're from Slovenia and Croatia. And, you know what I mean? Like, no. But the thing is, we can relate to an Anthony Edwards.
Exactly.
Maybe on and off the court. But, but
except I pull out.
Yeah, he doesn't know how to do that. But, and then obviously Victor Wembanyama. How do I relate to a 7'4" alien? You know what I mean? Even him, you don't relate to that. French, like, you don't relate to him. You know what I mean? Like, but we can relate to
LeBron and Kobe and all this.
Curry. As you've pointed out to me in the past, Allen Iverson, the answer.
The culture GOAT.
And in the NFL, we have Michael Vick.
Yeah, culture GOATs.
Right?
Yeah.
These are players that tons of people look up to.
I forgot about that conversation, and we're going to have to swing that bitch around another time. But, yes, the culture. I guess I didn't have the right angle, but it led us to that spot.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, it's just like, I was just thinking about. I was like, man, if NBA had, you know, different. I think it would probably be cooking a little bit more. Like
I also think the players are just not as good either.
Whoa, no. You can make a case the players in NBA right now are more talented than ever. You can make a case.
I don't think so.
How so? They're fast as fuck now. Tall now.
These players don't play defense, man. They don't play defense.
They're
one-dimensional.
Not up to them. That's up to the referees. They've
no,
said that.
No,
it is up to the refs.
It's not up to the referees.
The refs are stopping them from being physical.
No, these players can't guard for shit.
Come on, G.
If
they were allowed to hand check and all this stuff, they would be able to guard.
I'm sorry, no, they don't. It's not. This is all the way back.
What is Wemby doing?
This is fundamental.
Is Wemby not guarding?
This is fundamental. Wemby, I'm not talking about Wemby. I'm talking about Wemby is, well, he's a freak for one, so that doesn't really count.
I mean, there's some other freaks.
I'm saying, other freaks?
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of them.
I'm just saying, like, this is from AAU ball. Comes back to like AAU ball, high school ball. They don't play defense. They're not guarding, they're defending. Like these, how many? Like I said, other than the Pistons, the Celtics, the Thunder, and the Spurs, those 4 teams defend. None of these other teams really play defense. They might have a defender here and there, but
the Magic don't play defense?
No. Not this season they don't. In the past they did. You're giving up 120 points a game, 100. That's not defense.
But I think that's a result of how the game has been morphed.
You can say that all you want, but at the end of the day, I see the Thunder play great defense. I see the best teams still play great defense and get a stop when they need it. I'm sorry. One of our favorite teams don't play a lick of defense in the Lakers. Don't know what defense even looks like. And
that's coaching too. I mean, there's
you can go coaching, but I have a hard time believing that these coaches don't know how to put a scheme for defense. It's the players, man. Like I said, it's been since AAU ball. It's like that now. It's running down the court. There's not a lot of defense being good. Pull up 3. No one's really in their face. It's like the game to me is not better now. The game was better back and then. The game was better back in the 90s, in the early 2000s. That's when the game was at its best. We don't need to sit here and act like it wasn't. It was. You saw great defense being played. Now it's rare to get a game under 100 points.
That's not, it's okay. You speaking on AAU, but if it's taught that you can play defense, things would change. The player's not allowed to, so I can't fault them on what they're not allowed to do.
They can play defense.
They can. To say they don't play defense, you mentioned a couple teams. Like teams play defense. It's okay. We're going to see in the playoffs they play. They play defense in the playoffs. I can understand from the regular season.
Bit. There's a little bit more defense being played. I'm not saying there's none. There is a little bit more defense being played, but there's still high-ass scoring games in the playoffs. And it's going to happen. I'm just saying, like, I feel like, yes, you could say some of it chalks up to the referees and the physicality or whatnot. You can say that, but at the end of the day, there are a couple still teams that play physical and play good defense more often than not. But I see a lot of these teams, like the Cavaliers. The Cavaliers don't play no damn defense.
I guess what I say then, the players are more skilled now. They're more skilled.
I can give you that.
Because I see this shit on the timeline all the time. It'll be like, if this person did this thing 20 years ago, they'll be foaming out the mouth or whatever. Like Jordan did this same thing, you know. And now just the everyday, but that's imitation, and we won't get to where we are now without seeing that. They are
more talented now.
But the players now are definitely more talented than ever.
But the basketball IQ is more down than ever.
Well, that's not their fault.
I mean,
that's the system.
One of my favorite players watching is probably one of the dumbest players in the league, in LaMelo Ball. This guy is doing some of the dumbest stuff I've ever seen. But he's phenomenally to watch.
It's a finesse game. But what they're doing now, does it make it more entertaining? That's tough. That's tough because defense had it. when the game had defense, it was more entertaining, but the skill levels are so high now. And I mean, how do you defend? Like, it's one thing to defend. I ain't gonna bring up no names. I'm gonna just say, just the basic dribble and the basic crossover. It's one thing to defend that, but it's a whole nother thing to defend a Curry or the Kyrie or, I mean, some of the young niggas, they be moving like crazy. It's hard to defend that. So can you fault them for not having defense when these niggas is cooking? Like, are they not? Bro, the average NBA player right now got the ball on the string. The average. We go back 20 years ago, they not moving the rock like that. So can you say definitively they could defend that? Because I don't know if they could.
The glove would be defending that shit.
Oh, man.
Gary Payton would be shutting that shit down.
Yeah, because they'd probably be physical, but I don't know. See what I'm saying? Listen, it comes down to the ref.
The defenders that they had back in the day, I'm going to say here in cap, they would stop a lot of these motherfuckers. Now, do I think they're going to stop Kyrie Irving? Probably not. Now, that is a different level.
Valid.
That's a different level. But I feel like, I'm not disrespecting him, but I feel like Curry, I've seen when he's gotten played physical before. I see how he plays. He played different. I've seen it. I've seen him in finals choke. I've seen it. I know what would happen to Curry. I know what would happen to Curry.
I don't know about
Curry.
I don't know about that.
If you put Curry back in the 90s, I'm trying to tell you, he would not be that dominant. In the 80s, he'd probably get shut down.
I'm with you, but a part of me is you have to see it. Like, we'll never see it. I need to see it. Like, I want to see it. Like, we've seen the pressure points of his, when you play defense on a certain teams, they, to Van Vliet was on him a little bit. Then you had, Delly that one year? So
Delly was giving him work.
Yeah. So
Delly was giving him work.
But it's Curry, bro. I don't know.
Put him in, all right. Let me ask you a question. In the 90s, is Curry a top 10 player?
Woohoo! That's a good-ass convo. And I don't know if I had an answer for it right now. But if I had to, force it, is he a top 10 player in the 90s? I'll probably say yeah. Let's take away, let's say you add the physicality. Okay, cool. It doesn't take away his playmaking. And he can still move and it depends on the system. If they have to do the whatever they were doing back then, probably not. But if he is able to, if Curry is his coach or something like that, the time travel, however you want to do it, if the system is different, tailored towards him, and they can hide him and all that, hell yeah. And they would have never, bro, I swear to God, Curry would come down, and let's say they never seen him before. He just come down. He'll get to about 35, they're playing off. He gonna bop a three, and then they gonna be like, what the fuck? They're not gonna believe it. And then he gonna do it again.
They pressing his shit. Full court pressing his
ass. But they not gonna they don't think it's lucky. But until he starts showing them.
Lucky? No, I ain't even thinking that shit no lucky.
Man, yes, they
think it's
will,
lucky.
bro.
They're not thinking it's lucky.
Bro, I promise you.
Trust me,
they would think it's a joke. Curry will come down there, because he'll be a little bit shorter too. He'll come down, bop a three, they'll be like, nah. He'll come down again, he'll bop another one.
You're out your mind.
Okay.
You're out your mind.
Bruh.
That is not
they
what
not pressing Curry. They don't know nothing about him.
They're going to press Curry.
They don't know nothing.
He hits 1-3 like that, they're in his face. They're in his face. They're not
the screens were really screens back then, though.
They're gonna, yeah.
And then he could get off on screens.
That's what you
and
think.
his off ball.
That's what you think will happen. Trust and believe. Defense back then was different, man. They would not be letting him do all that. Him personally would not be getting off. Now, Kyrie Irving, on the other hand, is different.
Oh, hey, in the comment below, Curry or Kyrie, who would be better?
I'm just saying because
in the 90s.
Curry's handles are cool, but Kyrie's handles are.
I'm not contesting that.
Those are generational, where I know that he would still be able to get his shot off, do what he needs to do. He would still be a bucket. I don't think Kyrie Irving's a top 10 player in this era. So he would be a top 10 player in that era. But I feel like they have never seen no handles like that before.
They would be stressed. He's extremely skilled.
They haven't seen handles like that before. I know that for sure. But once again, when you being physical with these players every single game, will he be able to still do those certain things? I don't know. because the defense was different back then and the physicality was different back then. They called the game differently back then.
You can
Hand
make a
checking
point.
was involved, and it was.
But
just
check this
better.
out. I'm not gonna even bring up our boy. I'm gonna just leave that there because people have stepped on that. Let's just say to the minimum. What would the game look like if Greek Freak is probably OD? If we put him back there, it's probably OD. Like that's probably stress city.
Yeah, they wouldn't have anything.
But let's just say KD, or if we could say KD.
They wouldn't have anything for KD.
So to that point,
He's too tall. He can get a
Yeah.
shot off. To me that's different because of like the height and all that.
and
But, like,
Ant-Man would probably look like walking Jesus back then. If you put Ant-Man back then with the competitive nature, I would love to see him on the opposite side of Jordan. Like he's on the east and Jordan on the east and he on the west. That would probably be crazy. Cause Ant back then, like that hand chicken, that ain't gonna phase him. And he can pull up from three and all that. It just depends on the type of game that's allowed to be played. If they let him have a green light and he can just pull up and because he like to shoot threes too, but it looks different. It looks spooky. But it's kind of hard to have this conversation because we wouldn't have the players we have today without the players before. And the players today wouldn't know how to do the shit they're doing now without the players before. So by dropping them in the past, it's kind of like
Ant would be a very good player then.
for sure.
He'd be a good player then. Now, Ant would be, but there are certain players that I'm not sure how good they'd be. Like
Jalen Brunson?
Jalen Brunson would be, that'd be a struggle for Jalen Brunson. Draymond Green, I'm not sure how good he'd be either. I don't know if that would. I'm not sure how that would work.
Yeah, I don't know if that should have worked.
I'm not sure how that would work then.
I don't know. That it's his defense would be fire. Like his defense would be fire. Like fire. He'd probably eliminate all the perimeter players. Like them niggas ain't have no handles. He'll strap their ass up.
How do you think Jokic would do? I think
Oh,
Jokic would get a lot of people fouled out.
Ooh, how would Jokic look in the 80s?
I mean, he would get
90s?
dunked on like crazy though.
He would get slammed on, but
He would get
his
people fouled out.
playmaking and
He'd get
shit
people-
was spooked.
He would get people fouled out too.
Yeah, he would. Man, his playmaking and him coming down the court would spook the shit out of them. They actually wouldn't know how to handle that.
Like I'm wondering, like I would say he would definitely be a top 5 center. I don't know if he'd be the best center, but top 5 center for sure. Because he would definitely give Shaq problems, 100%.
Shaq would have slammed on his head. Bro.
No, Shaq would slam on his head.
but
I'm saying
he
on
would
the
have
other
pulled
side,
him out of the perimeter.
he not only
and-
pull out on the perimeter, but Shaq would be fouling because
Yeah,
bro,
that's true.
The moves Jokic does, it'd be hard. So I feel like that'd be a really good matchup. I feel like Shaq only like he had Olajuwon was a big issue for him early in his career, but like the later in his career, like he was just so dominant. He was like dominating Dikembe Mutombo. Like he
Yeah.
was dominating people. And like with Jokic, it would just be a different type of like a matchup because you have to think with your head a lot.
You know who would be elite? Elite? And I was going through my head through different players. And it's like I didn't want to be boring by saying, "Oh, SGA." That's kind of boring, and people would be talking about the foul baiting and all that. But Devin Booker would be elite, like because his game doesn't really fit the game right now. You drop him, you can
His
say
his game's like Kobe.
Yeah, you drop him 15 years ago, shit, you can drop him in the 90s. That it's probably different for him. His story is way different.
Depending on the team that he's on.
Yeah, depending on the team. Everybody else is kind of like boring to me. Like, oh, you take Greek Freak, duh, nigga. Like, you take. It's just a lot of different players. I was trying to think, but I was like, Devin Booker would be a solid. You pop him back then.
I know one that would give people problems, but people don't want to hear it. But Cat would give people problems. Them big men wouldn't want to come out there.
Yeah.
Now that's someone they would be looking at. You remember you were talking about Curry shooting threes?
Yeah.
No, Cat would be like, they'd be looking like, what the hell? Like Cat starts popping those threes, they'll be looking crazy at him.
I ain't gonna cap. He pull out there from the perimeter and shoot. They'd be like, it'd be like this. Nah. Let's run that back. All right, hold on. But I mean, Yeah, that's a tough one. I thought about Cap. I was like, respectfully, I'm trying to tread the line because my vow, but the physicality would make me question if that will work.
Yeah, because I mean, anything with like post play or anything like that would be. That I mean, he would get dominated for sure, but like he would be a pretty good offensive force. But then, I think people like Rudy Gobert would be trash. Like they'd be trash.
Yeah.
He won all these defensive player of the years or whatever. I'm just like, he wouldn't do none of that shit in the 90s.
It'd be bad. But I don't. You got anybody else that'd be interested in that? I thought it was a great conversation.
You know who would be interesting? But a lot of people will be like, well, if he could stay healthy. But I'm saying if he could stay healthy, Zion Williamson would be a problem.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Zion would be a problem for real. They would not know what to do with him.
Shit, they don't know what to do with him now.
That's what I'm saying.
Zion would be fire in the 90s.
They wouldn't know what to do with him.
He would be fire.
Yeah.
Like, he would be a problem.
Yep.
Like, if we just eliminate health and all that shit, if he just playing as raw talent,
yeah,
strong as shit, jump high as shit, man, he would be a problem. Wow, that's something to chew on. That's woo.
Because you thinking like, you look at like how people talk about Sean Kemp back then.
Yeah.
Like, these people would not know what to do with like
Man,
Zion, bro. They'd be like, how do we guard that? Like,
but I just think the part of the main reason is genetics are just so different now. Like they're just so different, and everybody has phone and access to seeing all the different tactics to get better and knowing this. So like the information and quality of medical and that's what kind of just it assists the players today. But I do give respect to the OGs because they was doing it without opening an iPad and seeing what somebody else was doing. They was creating all this shit off from they city. So I do give more value to that because how they got to where they got was actually hitting the ground, pavement, learning and doing that. How they get to where they at now, how do I do that move? You just look it up and you see it, you can practice. So back then, there was not only more pride, but also it was more respect. Because that's what a part of the problem is now, they lack respect. Like the kids now, they don't respect the game the same way. Like, to your point, they don't care about defense, they just coming down there shooting threes out. That's a lack of respect. Right? That, in my opinion, that's a lack of respect. Because the OGs, there were certain ways that you treated basketball and you loved basketball. And it wasn't about NILs and all this stuff. It was the love of the game. And that same love isn't the same now. I could be wrong, but it just looks different. The skill level is high, but the same level of that feeling, I think that feeling is slowly dissipating.
The basketball IQ these days is so low.
But that's tailored to them not giving a fuck.
Yeah, the basketball IQ is so low. There is one more player that I think would be, I feel like this guy would be easily top 10 in that era. And that's the guy you talked about earlier. Kawhi Leonard would be top 10 in that era. It would be very hard for Kawhi.
Hey,
it'd be very hard for them to guard Kawhi Leonard.
Kawhi
would be very hard.
The fundamental master?
Yeah. The mid-range would be nasty.
Tough.
Defense would be, a lot of them wouldn't know what to do. A lot of them would not know what to do. They'd be looking.
He would be tough.
Yeah.
I mean, damn, he would be tough. And the defense is top tier.
And the trash talking, like with Ant. But see, you can't trash talk someone like Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah, robot. He don't give a fuck about that shit.
Yeah,
like,
he'll be doing it. Nothing will be
man,
happening.
he would be. I'm going to stay away from you know who. But if he was in that era, he would be running shit, bro. It'd be very interesting. I don't know.
You're talking about Michael Jordan, aren't you?
Yeah, it just... I don't want to talk, like...
A lot of people
I
don't want
to stay away from Jordan.
A lot of people don't want... But, like... People don't want to hear it because obviously people will have an issue with it. But... I don't know, man. That would be difficult for Jordan now.
Yeah,
that would not be an
bruh.
easy matchup for Jordan now. The size, the height... It would be... Now, it's Jordan, so Jordan can do, obviously no wrong to anybody, but
Yeah.
people should look at that and consider and think about it. What would that matchup look like?
Man, they said some shit about DeRozan and Rosen back in the day would have been looking different too, but I'm gonna leave that alone. We go.
DeMar DeRozan?
Man, they were talking about man. I know,
God.
bro. Hey, it's funny.
DeMar
But
DeRozan.
back then, he probably looked different too.
I mean, he's obviously he's a mid-range sniper, but I don't want to do it to him, but that dude mentally just ain't there for me. I can't.
Fuck.
Yeah, in the 90s, you gotta be mentally strong.
Man,
and at the first minute he gets some trash talk, it'll be Brick
And
City.
with that, such a great conversation. Probably one of my favorite conversations we had. We got to talk about this draft. We running all the time.